This is Manly Art Gallery and Museum. It's the regional gallery for the northern beaches of Sydney. And this is Express Yourself 2020. Express Yourself is an annual exhibition project here at Manly Art Gallery and Museum. Each year the gallery's curators visit each of 20 high schools in the Northern Beaches area. We're looking at artworks made for the HSC, either in the school's exhibition or being worked on in the classroom. We sometimes talk to students, we certainly talk to visual art teachers, and we make our selections for this exhibition. With discussion between curators, we create a short list and present that list back to our collaborating visual art teachers. In selecting works for Express Yourself, we have a few things in mind. We look for the quality of ideas and themes and the motivations that are generating the artworks. We're looking for skilled art practice, whatever art form is being used. We look for well-resolved works where the themes and techniques come together well. We'll keep an eye out for genuine experimentation, bold ideas, subtlety and originality. And as curators, we're also looking to build a great-looking exhibition that represents the work that is being produced by young emerging artists in our region. Express Yourself is usually on display for about a month. It's viewed by thousands of visitors. Manly Art Gallery and Museum has a strong local audience, city-wide, interstate and international visitors. 400 people came to this year's launch event. There's an artist walkthrough, and of course there are generous prizes awarded each year. It's a big deal. This work by artist George Cox from Northern Beaches Christian School catches the eye the moment you walk into the gallery. From a distance you can perceive an image. It looks like a portrait, a triptych with small watercolours on either side of the main image. As you move closer, you see that that main image is comprised of hundreds of stamps. George scanned stamps from his father's and his grandfather's stamp collection to make a very personal portrait. When you encounter this artwork from a distance, you're drawn further towards it. You want to see the detail of this pixelated image. It asks that question of the audience. As you get closer, you understand the structure of the artwork much better. It's still asking questions. What does it mean? Why has it been made in this way? George's work is very successful in this sense. We see the detail and the commitment to the work, and we see alongside the main image George's exquisite watercolours. George has basically shown the audience his skills, but he's also maintained a strong theme throughout the work. In the Express Yourself exhibition, there's an artist's statement included with every work. When we read George's statement, we get a deeper understanding of the cultural background to this artwork. We see that it's personal. We see that it's about family. We get to understand that this imagery means a lot to the artist. This artwork is by Murray Gain from Oxford Falls Grammar School last year. He's called it Objective Recollections. This work attracts us because of its boldness and the use of materials. There's no canvas here or artboard. Murray's content to use a rusty used car bonnet and the lid of an old metal box. These are his surfaces. It's very much in the spirit of street art. It's got an immediacy to it. You notice it from a distance. Murray's not interested in exquisite detail or delicacy here. This is about impact. Zane Levette from St Paul's Catholic College put together this sculpture. We might think of it in the genre of junk sculpture, but knowing what we do from Zane's statement, these are materials recovered from a specific site. It's in this locality. It's in the ocean here at Manly that Zane has recovered these bits and pieces of rusty metal. It's an object sculpture about place. It also says something about materials and their decay, and maybe something about our society and the use of materials as well. It has an environmental edge to it. With Rebecca Thwaites' work, which is titled Intergenerational Disconnect, Rebecca produced 4 delicately painted, almost photorealistic works. For the exhibition, as curators, we selected 2 of those panels and put them together. Partially that's due to space here at the gallery, but we also felt that these were the strongest of the 4 works. It's an example of how curators will work with submitted artwork. Remember, we're building an exhibition as well, and with a group exhibition, some editing will take place. Rebecca's work is in the delicate, photorealistic style of painting, evoking famous artists such as Chuck Close and also Marco Grassi. Looking closely at this portrait, you can see the fine skill and technique that demonstrates practice and experimentation. If anything, this portrait has a postmodern aspect to it as well. It looks incredibly modern and at the same time is reminiscent of the painting of Dutch masters from centuries ago. These ceramic pieces are made by Carmen Johnson from St Luke's Grammar School. It's called My Home, My Land. That's a strong indicator of what Carmen is on about with these ceramic works. She's looking at a particular local environment, the Australian landscape around the Northern Beaches area. There's clear evidence of experimentation here. There's a wide variety of ceramic making techniques used. There's glazes, there's matte surfaces, there's coloured textures. All these techniques mirror Carmen's impression of various forms in our landscape. This work by Bradley Archidiacono, called The Intersection of Time, is a graphic design piece. It represents a lot of work that we're starting to see produced by HSC students around this area. Bradley's theme of environment and care for the globe comes across very clearly. It's another strong dynamic work and it looks great in our exhibition. As you get closer, you'll see more detail in the work. You can see the thought and effort behind these bold graphics. The theme of global environmentalism is clearly communicated. Charlie Bellick from Mackellar Girls Campus has created this sculpture for the HSC, and here it is in Express Yourself 2020. Around the art world, there's a lot of sculpture made from refuse and waste and recycled material. But within this genre, Charlie's work here is beautifully put together. Charlie is exploring the dissonance between machines and human beings. She's communicated this so successfully by the clever and detailed putting together of these components, these electronic components and parts of machines. And yet there's a very human figure here in a delicate and sensitive pose. This artwork, made of felt and plastic and bits and pieces, is made by Charlie Hunter from Davidson High School. She's used these materials cleverly and colourfully to talk about another important environmental theme, which is coral bleaching. Lydia Brown from Mackellar Girls Campus created this very large-scale drawing on a long scroll of paper. It's a real commitment to one particular work with a deep involvement. Lydia is looking at the theme of growing global normalisation of surveillance and facial recognition. Very current, very relevant, and a blend of a strong theme and interesting materials. Natalie Louvre from St Luke's Grammar School has made this body of work, mostly involving her excellent drawing skills. Natalie was inspired by watching a documentary about dissociative identity disorder, an excellent theme for generating this kind of work and response. We were impressed with the idea that watching a documentary about an illness could generate such a complex and developed and complete body of work. HSC artists are encouraged to look at the art world and to look at contemporary art practice and particular artists and use them as inspiration. Here, Logan McCann from Mackellar Girls Campus has taken inspiration from Australian painter Del Catherine Barton. So Logan has adapted that style and some of Catherine's techniques to really make it her own and to talk about a personal family story. This beautifully resolved multimedia work by Victoria Brack from Pittwater High School reflects on Victoria's urban environment, the environment she lives in. Victoria has created a monochrome cityscape in miniature, reflecting her theme of urbanisation. One of the things we look for when putting the Express Yourself exhibition together is the currency of themes. Here, Georgia White from Pittwater High School has painted these panels around ideas and imagery of bushfires in an Australian landscape. It's remarkable how timely this has become. Ceramics, sculpture, graphic design, photo media, video works, multimedia, collection of works. Each year there are high expectations for the Express Yourself exhibition at Manly Art Gallery and Museum, and each year the visual arts students and their teachers from the Northern Beaches seem to deliver.